I'm putting all of my Infect cards in their own effectively quarantined minicube. I started with the new Phyrexia blue-green theme deck that has Infect, incredibly enough. Black with Infect was not put in the theme decks, even though there's some really great cards that are black in the Scars of Mirrodin block that have Infect. Uh, and so, for example, Plate Stinger. I've got a full playset that I'm putting in another cube of modern staples, but in this case I've got another one laying around. It's a 2/1/1 with flying, and it's very popular in the older formats. Flensermite, which I have two. It's a gremlin, and it's a 2/1/1 with lifelink. So if we compare it to a Plague Stinger, one's got flying, the other one's got lifelink. Interestingly enough, Plate Stinger is the one that is very popular and not Flensermite. I guess flying is better than lifelink. Contagious Nim, it's a 3/2/2. I've got three of them, and that's all there is to it. A really great card. I love the artwork on this card. I'm very partial to the black cards, and I've got a full playset in here. Black Leaf Goblin. It's a 4-drop 2/1 with haste. It's a little on the heavy side. I happen to love the artwork for this card. Flesh Eater Imp is a 4-drop 2/2. Let's put it next to Black Leaf Goblin to compare. So it's basically the same drop. A little weaker on the Black Cleaf at common. Flesh Eater Imp is at uncommon. And Flesh Eater Imp has flying. Again, flying seems to be popular because, of course, you can fight off blue, and blue is prevalent in all the formats in Magic. Then you've got Phyrexian Bat Mother. It's a 4-drop, rare, 4/4/5. Looks very playable. At the beginning of your upkeep, you get a poison counter. Oh, that's so you're dishing it out and you're taking it in. So that seems tricky, but it's a 4/4/5. You better make sure that you're dealing a lot more poison counters than you're getting. Reaper of Sheldred. It's a 5-drop, 2/5. A little bit of a defensive move. Whenever a source deals damage to this card, that source's controller gets a poison counter. That's pretty good. Then we're going to move into the sorceries. Spread the Sickness, of which I have 2. And then Exsanguinate. Boy, that's a tongue twister for me. So the X card, I'll call it. It's X black. Each opponent loses X life. You gain life equal to the life lost this way. So that's great. You gain as much life as your opponent loses life with that X. I put it in here because it's very useful. It doesn't have any Infect abilities. Spread the Sickness is a 5-drop sorcery. Destroy target creature, then proliferate. So I've included as much proliferate as I could because I see that some Infect cards have proliferate. Then a full playset of Tainted Strike. It's a common instant 1-drop. Target creature gets +1/+0 and gains Infect until end of turn. Could be useful. Instill Infection. Name's got Infect in it, but it has nothing to do with Infect. It's a 4-drop instant that puts a -1/-1 counter on target creature, and then you get to draw a card. That's all there is to it. Then Grim Affliction. It's a 3-drop. Instant, you put a -1/-1 counter and then proliferate. Let's compare it to Instill Infection. It's a little lighter. You put the same -1/-1 counter, but in the case of Instill Infection, for an extra mana, you basically get to draw a card. It's kind of a trade-off. You proliferate at a lower casting cost, and you draw a card at a higher casting cost. Grasp of Darkness is a 2-drop instant. Target creature gets -4/-4 until end of turn. That could be very useful. Relic Putrescence is an enchantment aura. Whenever enchanted artifact becomes tapped, its controller gets a poison counter. Okay, so when it becomes tapped, so your opponent would not want to tap it, but if you're playing a blue-black deck and you've got a tapper in there, maybe you can make sure that that artifact does get tapped. Glistening Oil, it's an enchantment aura, it's a rare 2-drop. I must have pulled this out of one of the packs because I haven't bought any single rares for this set. Enchanted creature has Infect. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a -1/-1 counter on enchanted creature. So you're slowly killing it while it's got Infect. But you don't gain control over it, so that's an issue. When Glistening Oil is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, return it to its owner's hand. That's the same ability that Rancor has. I can see that being useful. Phyrexis is a 2-drop enchantment aura, and the enchanted creature has Infect. That's pretty good in a mini cube because I could put a bunch of creatures that don't have Infect, and if I had more Phyrexis, they could have it, although I haven't done that yet with this mini block. I think I was just talking about that card. So I must have a full playset, and I must have a full... Oh, there we go. I have a full playset of Phyrexis. I forgot about that small detail. So I do have a full playset of both cards.